Folks, welcome to Caching in the Northwest. It's the official podcast of GeoWoodstock 18 right here in the great Pacific Northwest. You know, each week we're going to talk about caches and caches from here and all around the globe. So while you're reminiscing about a Hockey Hall of Fame induction 42 years ago this week, we'll be caching in the Northwest. And if you know what that is, use hashtag hockey in the chat.
Well, of course, 42 years. What a great number.
Hmm.
All I know is that it's time to bring in our bowling baboon. Some say he juggles flaming bowling balls with his eyes closed. And others say he once bowled a 300 in just 6 frames. All we know is he's called Land Monkey.
The introduction theme tonight has me bowled over completely.
Wow. And I've been watching a lot of slow motion video on YouTube lately, and 6 frames, that's fast if you pull 300 net.
Yeah. 6 frames per second.
Yeah.
So it's actually not fast. All right.
Oh, 6 frames per second. Okay, then that's doable then.
Yeah, it's not very high resolution either.
Okay.
The pins were there, then they're not there. Who knows what actually happened?
Yeah.
Hey guys, good to see my. Oh, sorry.
There
are 3 hosts. Yes.
3 hosts.
And
Yes.
I thank you, Bri Lang, for that. I was just about to say that it is awesome to be back here with my friends. It's I haven't seen you guys since Ape Weekend. And,
Yeah.
and we weren't all together, but we did see each other.
Well, we were all together briefly.
That's true. Yes, we
Yes.
were.
Yes.
We were briefly all together before food.
Pre-food. Yeah. That was good.
Yes.
I mean, the food was good, but it was really good to
Oh,
the
yeah.
3 of us in the same physical space. But
3 out of 4 rude Americans agree that food at the I-90 cafe or I-90, whatever it was fantastic.
we're not going to name the place because it's
no.
our special secret place.
Oh, I don't know what I'm talking about.
But you know what else we're going to talk about tonight, as well as good friends hanging out and having a great breakfast together?
No.
We're going to talk about Streak Week.
Hey,
Whoa. So let me just
Let me
do
button
my
up
shirt
here.
up
Is that
here.
a Ray Stevens song?
look at that.
Ethel, put your clothes back on. All right. So yeah, we're going to talk about Streak Week. We're going to unpack Streak Week, which just sounds all kinds of wrong, and that's what we're here for, folks.
Hold on. I'm going to join Streak Week right now.
You pack that back up right now.
Sorry. I'm repacking.
But you know, before we get to packing and unpacking anything else, we also want to remind everybody that we appreciate the support of our patrons who help to keep this podcast coming in each and every week. And a special thanks to Land Sharks, our corporate Denali level patron. If you want to know more about supporting the show, click the Patreon link on the cachingnw.com website. All right.
So many sharks.
So many sharks. So many buttons I have to click over here. I'm just randomly clicking things now. All right. Hey.
Oh, is it Shark Week or Streak Week?
It's Streak Week. It's always Shark Week on our podcast.
That's right.
Oh, there you go. That's right.
That's the right answer.
Well, another thing we do each and every week is the glow, or the geocaching log of the week. Whether you read it, whether you wrote it, we want to hear about it. You know why? I tell you this each and every week. Maybe you'll learn, because great logs simply make geocaching better. Send an email or a field recording. You know, that's a recording you do out in the field. Do it on your phone. You can email that to feedback@cachingnw.com. Call into 253-693-TFTC or use the voicemail tool on the website to show us how you glow. We give you so many different ways, and we appreciate everybody who sends in a glow. If you send in a glow, like Highlands guy just did,
Yeah.
you're going to get a special glow badge. Wits End, what does that badge look like?
Well, it looks something like that right there.
Oh,
that was impressive.
So very nice. We all
Okay. It shows up really well on the audio podcast too.
It's all glowy.
I know, it's glowy. So this week's glow, as you mentioned, came from Highlands guy, who found traditional. He submitted the log. Millie Curie found, excuse me, traditional cache flight songs. Freebird. That's Hag.
Nice.
Okay. Before we get tagged for copyright infringement, we'll shut that
I
down.
won't be able to use this whole episode.
Okay. Hag 15, I assume that is XV. Assume those are Roman numerals, not just XV.
Hegzib.
Oh, there you go. The log says, geocaching is such a weirdo hobby when you take it at the surface level. I mean, why in the world should anyone spend a significant amount of their life searching for scraps of paper to sign? Here's the thing, though. It isn't remotely that simple. Geocaching is about adventures you would have never taken with friends you would have never known were it not for those scraps of paper. OU Schmitz and I ran into an Oklahoma City caching buddy at one of the GeoWoodstock side events back in May. He introduced us to a couple that he had met earlier in the day at a virtual cache, and once we started talking to Highlands Guy and his delightful wife, we hit it off with them immediately. We got beers and spent probably 2 hours talking. We were originally planning our summer vacation to be exclusively Seattle-oriented, but once we discovered that they were from Victoria, we modified our plans to add a few days in Canada. We parted ways with a promise to contact them in July. Today, we crossed the Canadian border for the very first time and took a nice little ferry ride from Vancouver to Victoria. What a gorgeous place. While we were waiting on Highlands Guy to finish work, we looked up some of his caches and made the fantastic hike through Francis King Park to find them. Oh, wow, I definitely knew that we weren't in Oklahoma anymore. I actually felt like I was in Lord of the Rings or Game of Thrones or something, a medieval fantasy land of moss and ferns and giant trees. It took us a while to zero in on the cache thanks to jumpy GPS signals, but once we were satisfied that we had arrived at the correct host, the Freebird cache was ours. We left a few path tags along with our signatures on our first Canadian cache log. Al and Linda, we can't thank you enough for your hospitality. You drove us all over town and gave us a most excellent day of caching and sightseeing in Victoria. I hope that we are able to meet up again next year at GeoWoodstock. I know when that's going to be.
What?
When's that going to be?
Well, August, and I'm getting like really close to Tacoma, like Northwesty, maybe Canada,
Maybe.
maybe like BC, maybe like Land Monkey's backyard.
Almost. Yeah.
Well, not literal backyard.
No, please
But-
don't show up in my back.
Wait a minute. That's where I was camping.
Yeah. Well,
Maybe the host camp out could be in Land Monkey's
There you go.
backyard, but yeah.
that sounds good. That sounds like a good idea.
That
All
would mean he's a hosting host.
Oh,
Very cool. All right. Well, that was a great glow, and what a cool story. And what's really neat is that story kind of bookends GeoWoodstocks in a way.
yeah.
The author has talked about meeting Highland Guy and his wife at GeoWoodstock in Texas, in Fort Worth, and looking forward to and then coming up and visiting here in beautiful Victoria and doing some caching in beautiful British Columbia and really getting to see what it's like up here.
Like Lord of the Rings or
Like Lord of the Rings.
Well,
There you go.
Yeah, and not like Oklahoma.
And no, it's not like I've been to Oklahoma now, and I can definitely
Yeah.
say the Northwest is not like Oklahoma.
Yeah,
No.
I like Oklahoma. When I've driven through it, I really do like it, but it's definitely different than
different.
You know,
British Columbia.
it's fine. Oklahoma is just okay.
Okay.
There you go. Well, that was pretty cool. We really thank you for sending that in, and the glow badge, I'm sure, will make its way over to Highlands Guy for his efforts in sending that in. That's a great log.
That was fun.
Yes, it is.
It's nice to have when people write nice, eloquent, and enjoyable logs like that. That's the whole point of the glow.
It's nice to be nice.
It's
the
nice to be
nice.
nice. We're going to talk about unpacking Streak Week this week. So again, as we said, if you want to share any thoughts about that, use hashtag Streak. And in fact, if you're listening to the audio of this podcast or you're watching the YouTube feed after the show and you've had some thoughts or you want to give us some feedback about Streak Week, use hashtag Streak and tag at CachingNW. And we'll see that, and we'll be able to pick up your feedback and share it on a future show. So, Just because you're not here at this instant doesn't mean you can't participate.
That's right. That's right. And you know what?
No, what?
We've got some interesting geocaching news that I think we should jump to. Before we get into talk about streaking and the fact that we're not wearing pants, but that's not what we're talking about this week. I think we have some interesting geocaching news we should share.
Do it.
From the Sharon Herald, perhaps?
Oh, I don't know, Sharon.
Well, if you knew Sharon like I knew Sharon, you'd appreciate Sharon the way I appreciate Sharon.
I like it when you're sharing.
Yeah. Sharon, share alike. This is, well, it's sadly a fairly common news story in the geocaching world where somebody found a suspicious object just after 1 p.m. in a wooded area just outside of Pittsburgh. Observed in a tree stump covered in some leaves made of PVC pipe so it didn't rust and had a screw-on cap. The Pittsburgh bomb squad came and, well, they blew it up with a specially designed shotgun round and just found a geocaching log inside. So, yeah.
I thought it was interesting. You know, they came and they blew it up. I didn't know they used a shotgun shell that instead of regular shells, the rounds can have water or clay that dissipates after a few feet, but completely destroys an object with high pressure.
So it's less likely to trigger an explosion because there's no metal bits.
I would imagine, yeah.
Designed to detonate it. Designed to destroy potential explosives. You're right.
Yeah.
So shred it rather than detonate it.
Right. Well, there you go. We learned something new. What isn't new is that geocaches have been mistaken for bombs again.
Yeah.
Now, I think the caveat here, though, is when it's described as a piece of PVC pipe with end cap screwed on, I kind of think geocachers know better by now than to hide caches that look like pipe bombs.
You would think.
But
apparently not in Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
In one specific tree stump in Pittsburgh. Maybe it's more specific.
Yeah. I mean, and I'm also curious about how this was found. If it was buried under leaves in a tree stump and it was found as a suspicious package, who was rooting around in leaves in a tree stump and isn't a geocacher?
A squirrel.
It's called in by the local squirrels.
Yeah.
The package was discovered by a local resident who was looking to set up a deer stand in the area.
Okay.
So he was looking to sell deer.
That's right. Or sell advice to deer, perhaps.
Oh, yeah.
Perhaps.
5 cents. Yeah.
Deer advice.
Yes. Dear.
Oh,
all right.
Now, also, while you're out, maybe setting up your deer stand, maybe geocaching. I'm hoping it's the latter and not the former. But if you want to go out and shoot a deer and you have a license, I have no problem. It helps control the species and actually is good. But we're not getting into that tonight. But I want you to be careful and observant because it's not rabbit season or duck season. It's bear season.
Ooh.
So, bears are abouts.
They are. Yes, they're abouts a lot right now.
Yeah, that's right. So avoid hiking alone if possible. Never let small children run ahead or wander. You want to keep an eye on them. Make a lot of noise by talking, clapping, and singing to avoid startling a bear. So, put on the headphones. Oh, wait, no, don't do that.
Don't put on the headphones.
But sing to your heart's content out there.
You know what else you could do? You could bring an audio player with a loudspeaker and play the Caching the NorthWest podcast while you're hiking.
You could.
Should we be clapping?
Oh, well, our audience is clapping for us.
Okay.
In my head, they're clapping.
And stick to the trail. No bushwhacking. And watch for signs of bear. That's tracks, scabs, markings.
Did you just tell geocachers no bushwhacking? Is that what I thought I heard?
That's kind of what I heard. Yeah.
Yeah. So good luck with that.
Yeah, I know. Well, but I mean, we're not bushwhacking for hundreds of feet or, tens of meters.
I've seen you bushwhack quite a ways for a geocache.
It's only 300 feet right this way. How hard can it be?
I think we're all guilty.
Bushwhack in, trail out.
That's right. All right. Anyways, I interrupted you, Chris. What were you saying about scat?
I don't know. What do you know about bear scat?
Well, I'll tell you what I know about bear scat. I know that you can tell the difference between bears by looking at the scat. In fact, if you look at bear scat and it has seeds and what looks like it was berries and things like that in it, it's most likely from a black bear. And if you look at bear scat and it has bear bells and it smells like pepper spray, it's probably from a grizzly.
That's right.
Very good.
Yeah.
So also you want to beware of your surroundings. Hike during daylight hours. You don't want to hike at night. And thank you, Wits End.
I was checking my surroundings.
Are you aware?
Yeah. Yeah.
And avoid areas known to have, guess what? A high bear population.
Ooh, that would be Washington, dude.
I was going to say the Northwest.
Colorado.
Yeah, man. Hey, bear, how you doing?
And Chicago.
Oh,
Okay.
Chicago.
Yeah, they've got bears. A whole stadium full. All right. So yes, so good advice. Much of it we probably won't act on. But the bottom line is to be more cautious during the late summer and fall season because the bears are preparing for theoretically hibernation. I guess it depends on how winter goes this year.
Their long winter naps.
Yeah.
Yes.
And they're stocking up on fish and berries.
And
because nothing goes with salmon quite like a blackberry.
It's true. Blackberry seasoned salmon. Very good. All right. So that's our bear advice. It's barely bearable.
Bear essentials.
Bare minimum.
Yeah. Guys, how is your streak week going?
Is that this week?
Yeah. Surprise. Yeah. In true streaking fashion, nobody knew it was coming until it was upon us.
Mm-hmm. That's true. I really was surprised. I mean, I felt like we just got out of the last promotion and Streak Week is here. And what did they tell us? Did they tell us on Friday? Because it was after the podcast last week.
Yeah, we had, I saw the email came in from Rock Chalk to all the geocaching media with 1 or 2 days notice. And yeah, understandably, a lot of people were up in arms about that. I think usually we're used to getting a lot more notice with the Mystery at the Museum. The teasers were out in a month, at least in advance.
Mm-hmm.
So
it was kind of surprising. Streaking ahead of time to know this was coming.
Yeah, something like that. But it was surprising. But I think, I don't know. Do they really need to give everybody a certain amount? I mean, it's not like there's a written document that says this is how much notice you must give geocachers of a promotion. So
I bet there is.
Well, I bet there is in the in the not the chat. What do they call that? The where everybody goes and complains online.
The forums.
Yeah. Thank you. I was thinking the internet in general, but
yeah.
In the forums, I'm sure there's written rules now. Yeah.
I mean, I looked at it and go, well, that's a good idea. Just a week. You remember, I don't know how many years ago it was, the 31 days of August.
Yes.
They expected you to go out and find a cache every day in the month of August for 31 souvenirs.
So now it's 7 days for one souvenir.
Oh, the math doesn't work out the same.
That's the trade-off.
Yeah. So apparently souvenirs have more value now than they did a few years ago.
Well, yeah.
Oh, I see where you're going with that. Right. Souvenir inflation.
Right. Souvenir inflation. Yeah. When they first came out with souvenirs, they were going, you get a souvenir and you get a souvenir and you get a souvenir. In fact, you get 31 souvenirs.
Yeah. That's right. So they had to increase the value of souvenirs. We had to work a little bit harder for them. It's just like the Canadian dollar. Gotta work a little harder for it.
Kev MacD says, streaking is a style of caching that not everyone enjoys. It feels a bit more notice would have been good. Well, I kind of agree with that.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, I guess I'm of two minds on that topic for other reasons. Is there, so, I'll ask the rhetorical question, at least rhetorical to me. Is everybody entitled to every souvenir that comes out?
Nope. It's there if you want to work to go get it. Are you entitled to it? No.
There's souvenirs for every state. There's souvenirs for every province. There's souvenirs for many countries.
Mhm.
Right.
You
I
need to
argue
work to get them. You need to travel to those
right.
places and find a cache to get them.
I argue with the word entitled. Are you entitled? No, because in order for me to get a souvenir for a state, I have to go to that state and find a geocache. There is work involved.
Yeah, you've earned it.
Right. So, if geocaching.com wants to put out a souvenir for 7 days of streaking in a row during a certain week, great, let them do it.
Yeah. I think the biggest challenge is just the amount of notice that people got.
Right.
All right.
Let's see. Keith
so
said I managed to keep the streak going. I still need to log my finds, though.
don't count yet then. Better get at it, boy. I saw we had some feedback from Brylang as well. It's hashtag streaking. I have misplaced my pants. My coworkers have been screaming, but HR hasn't found me yet.
What's geocaching have to do with streaking anyway?
What a silly. He's such a silly.
Well, maybe we have some new listeners that say, what is a geocaching streak anyway?
You know what? There's a good point. Let's explain this.
Yeah. So a streak means that you logged a geocache or an Adventure Lab cache or attended an event cache or any of those kind of things, that any place you log to find that you get that, makes your number go up for a consecutive number of days. I tend to streak in numbers of like 1, sometimes 2. Unless you're counting, unless you're counting streaks of days without fines, and then it's in the hundreds. You can track your streak on your geocaching.com statistics, provided, of course, that you're a premium member and get the premium features. But as we mentioned, this one was Streak Week, August 2019, a very special souvenir for 7 days. How did we get that one? Did we cover that enough?
Well, I don't think we actually did cover it. I mean, we know it's for 7 days, but we didn't mention that it's Sunday, August 25th.
Okay.
Through Saturday, August 31st.
So we're kind of right in the middle of that right now.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. In the thick of things. I just wanted to interrupt for a moment to bring up this really good feedback from GSM times 2, which is if we need to give 2 weeks notice for an event, 2 weeks notice for a promotion would be nice. I think that's reasonable. So
that does sound fair. Yeah, I like that.
If we just sort of assume the notification for anything geocaching related should be about 2 weeks. 2 weeks is a very reasonable number to work with. So GSM times 2, thanks. That was very thoughtful.
That's a very good analogy. Yeah.
So you have to find a cache every day from the 25th to the 31st. Do you have to log them all by the 31st?
No.
Okay.
Keats doesn't.
Well, August 31st hasn't come around yet. You don't know that.
Yeah.
As long as you found a cache every day from August 25th to August 31st, 2019, you will be awarded with a souvenir as soon as you log all the finds.
Now that's interesting because I know with some of the other souvenir promotions, they've had a cutoff date that you had to have your logs in by. And it's usually about a month. They're pretty generous with it.
Yeah.
But that's interesting. So they're not actually giving a cutoff date by when you have to have your logs in.
Right. Well, and it's interesting because, you could be traveling during this time. This is a very active vacation time.
Yeah, it is. And in some regions, as I've learned, it's actually back to school time right now. People are actually in some places in the States already back to school. So,
oh, yes. Our school started on Wednesday.
There you go.
Yeah. For me, it's a super busy time at work. So it made streaking this week exceptionally difficult. I started out strong, tried to get there, and then I worked some long days and my streak didn't make it past, 1 day.
We've got an unusually busy summer at our work this year. And so that's been definitely taking up a lot of time. Plus, we're about to go on our vacation after the long weekend, and therefore we've been spending a lot of time planning and all that kind of stuff. But we have gotten out. So I am currently at where am I at?
Today is day 5. Somebody said in the chat. Thank you, chat.
There you go. So yeah, I've got is it day 5?
Mm-hmm.
Is it technically day 5? Oh yeah, no, it is. Yep.
Yeah.
It is day 5. Yeah. So I've got 6 consecutive days with finds. Started on the weekend and just.
Oh, I was going to say, it doesn't matter. You can't have 6 consecutive days yet. We're only at day 5.
I was going to finish it a day early and just.
Okay.
No.
So it says he's actually logging his finds now. Take that, procrastination.
Yeah, that's right.
There you go. Yeah.
GSM Time 2 says log a find, not log an event. To which Ryling says no, events count.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep, they do. Events do count for sure. All right. What's
I'm
up? What are
sorry.
you laughing about?
Trexer's funny. He says, pay attention to the podcast, Keats. Multitasking is a myth.
That's all right. I know Keats will just go back and listen to it later. All right. So we also had some feedback from Dora Moore, who said she missed day 1 of Streak Week, went out on days 2, 3, and 4, but won't get to finish it, and she's okay with that. Found some quality caches this week rather than park and grabs, which is also a good point. I mean, generally, when you're doing a caching streak, you're not really going out of your way to find the real high favorite points.
Right.
You're just grabbing whatever cache is closest and most convenient, and often those are park and grabs.
Exactly. And, you know, I've said it and I'll say it again. Every cache has a purpose. You think, I don't want to get a park and grab. Yeah, I'd rather go on a long hike. Well, if you're trying to maintain a streak, those park and grabs are valuable.
Yeah. If you're traveling without access to a vehicle and there's one in the motel parking lot, things like that.
Yeah, exactly. I've done that exact same thing.
Yep.
Very cool.
Interesting point, guys. Have you seen Podcashers' social media? They are working on finding a different cache type each day during this week.
Yeah.
Yep. Podcaster's doing that. Cache the Line is doing that as well. He's accepted their challenge and has been popping videos out, I think, of his work. And Sunny and Sandy have been putting videos out each day of the week of their different cache type for every day of the week. And that takes a lot more effort. So that's really, it's really stepping it up. So, you know, kudos to all of them who are doing it. I started off trying to do that. And then mid this week, it was just like, you know what? Nope.
Yeah.
I don't have time for this.
Yeah.
How did you define that? Just nope.
Nope.
Yeah.
That was about it.
MC3 Cat says, I gave up on the streak as of Tuesday. Too darn hard when one has their home area cleared out.
Oh, well.
And for that exact reason, not the streak week, but because I never know what the next promotion is going to be, I always leave a selection of caches immediately close to me. And then, well, maybe not immediately, but relatively close to me, a very short drive or a long walk. And then I'll try, you know, if we're going to go out and Mrs. Monkey and I are going to go and do some caching, we tend to go, you know, like 10K or beyond home and sort of leave that 10K radius for who knows what the next promotion is going to be.
Sure.
Yeah.
Odds are you might have much notice of what that promotion is.
True.
You might not.
Helen of the Land Shark says, we might finish the streak in with Victoria's new Adventure Lab by Island Finders.
Very cool.
That'd be nice.
Yeah.
Adventure Lab caches count as a cache.
Yep. And because there's multiple finds within an Adventure Lab, you can just do one a day.
You could.
That's very cool. I've heard good things about that Adventure Lab. I'm looking forward to checking that out on my next trip over to Victoria.
You must tell us about it. Or maybe Helen from the Land Sharks could record something into her phone and email it to, I don't know, feedback@cachingnw.com.
What a great idea.
Yes. Well, thank you. I just came up with that.
And if you're, I was going to say, if you're, oh, sorry, you had that on. You put your thing on the screen, then I'll put my thing on the screen.
Okay. There you go. Anyway, go ahead.
We're fighting over screen real estate here. All right. If you enjoy Adventure Labs and you're going to be in Vancouver, there's a new Adventure Lab in downtown Vancouver along the waterfront that the BCGA has now.
Oh, nice.
Very cool. Yeah, Kev MacD sharing that with us. Thank you very much.
Let's see. Just because Land Monkey, you were talking about that. Brian Link says, I cleared a 5 mile. It's an 8-kilometer area around my house last year to meet a challenge cache. I've left everything new in that circle unfound since completing the challenge.
And I've done the exact same thing.
It must be a Canadian thing.
If you want the blackout, there's a blackout challenge up in Blaine or Bellingham or somewhere around here. And if you want that blackout challenge, that's exactly what you have to do, a 5 mile radius around your home location. But then, we completed that a couple of years back. We've just been letting everything populate back in. So,
is it grows organically?
Exactly. It's gross and organic.
Yeah, there you go. MC3 Cat says, unfortunately, I don't have the ability to show restraint when it comes to finding.
Yeah. It does take a certain amount of restraint. I will agree with that. All right. So we've been enjoying it. And as I said earlier, it turns out that we'll be finishing the streak on a trip, which will be kind of fun. Fortunately, our travel for the trip is not going to cause us to miss a day. So that works out really well. So bonus.
What if you went across the international date line? Could you get an extra day and have an 8-day streak?
I suppose you could, but you're still only going to get the same souvenir for it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I've often wondered about that when people are on, not the souvenir streak, but like a 365-day streak or longer.
Yeah.
And they're traveling somewhere because, within a year, many people have travel plans that come up. That can get really tricky. You got to really plan around that.
IHAM got me 8 days a week, 8-day streak.
Yeah.
See that? It's a Beatles reference.
Mm-hmm.
It is. Fair enough. It's good to see IHAM actively listening to the show again.
Yes. Very nice. Now, Wits End, have you done a streak? Well, I mean, geocaching.
That's a topic for another podcast. Not this week. I have had
for streaking in the Northwest, a new podcast.
I've had a few streaks in the past. Nothing significant compared to some of the people who've listened to the podcast and talk about their stats. But there's been a few things. My current streak is 0. So just so you know, my longest streak, and I know that. Wow, you guys out there are going to be envious of this. According to my stats on my profile page, my longest streak is 9 days. Told you it was single digits.
Woohoo!
You don't get any more single digits than that.
Pretty much.
That's the highest single digit you can have.
Yeah.
So I'm proud of you.
There you go. You've achieved. Now, you know what? Though, the fact is, even 9 days in a row is a commitment. I mean, it takes time to get out there when you got other stuff going on in your life to find that. So.
Yeah. And short notice or not, this promotion, it did prompt me to, I did try to start.
Mm-hmm.
I saw it. I thought, I'm going to do that. And I got out and found one geocache, which I was so busy at work. I hadn't even planned to go out and find one this week. But I thought, oh, I'm going to do this. I can find some just off the freeway on the way to work and stuff. And it didn't happen, but at least it got me out on the trail for a brief time to find one, and I've got plans to make more. So
good. GSM times 2 says Craig had an extended stop in Hawaii just to keep his streak going as he flew back from Australia.
That is so rough.
Yeah, you have to stop in Hawaii in order to keep the streak going.
Not a lot of empathy coming out of this podcast here tonight.
The Camp Clan best streak was 373 days.
I think that was recently. I think they did one for every day last year. I think it was recently.
It was relatively recent. Yeah. Trexer says, I think streaking reveals what you can accomplish if you really put your mind to it. That's
and wear good running shoes to outrun the security guards.
Right. Look at that. Look at that.
Boogity boogity. Yeah.
Keith says 425 days was enough for me. But if you bet I move to a different city, I'll push.
There you go.
Yep. There you go.
Trexer, you're bringing out some good points tonight. At least they picked a time of year where you're experiencing, I think not experiencing a week of downpours or dodging through the snow in the dark to find a
Right.
cache. Winter will be again soon. Winter is coming.
Now, granted, that is hemisphere relative.
Pacific.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was going to say Australia is experiencing winter, but nothing like our winters.
I was going to say, do they really get winter in Australia?
They get a period of time where it's cooler.
Yes.
Yeah.
There you go. I suppose it also depends where in Australia you are, but yeah. 3 hams in a rows jumped in, said, quit my streak at 42 days. It felt like work.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what? 42, good number. I like it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, wits end.
Yes.
I thought my streak was about as long as yours. No, I find it significantly longer
Oh.
at 12 days.
Wow.
Hey.
Double
I did
digits.
that just to honor the Seahawks
Oh, of course. Yeah.
who are playing right now. So I realize, if people aren't watching, it's okay. But you know what? Is this the second or third preseason game? If it's the third preseason game, they're going to lose it. It's okay. You don't need to watch. You can just record it and skip right through. You'll be able to see the players that you're not going to be able to see later on in the year anyway.
With the hours I've been working, I hadn't realized they'd even played yet this year. So
Oh,
there
dear.
we go.
Sorry, guys. I guess that was a little rough. I like the Seahawks.
Yeah, I like them too. I just haven't had time to follow them.
Yeah.
I know that every day that goes out there, the Mariners are going to lose, and yeah,
And the Seahawks have a chance to win.
that's right.
So do the Mariners.
Everyone has a chance to win.
Yes.
All right. Well,
Well, I haven't had a streak this week. I really thought about it when I saw this come out. I was like, "Oh, streak! I could do that." And then came Friday, where I succumbed to a cold. The kind of cold where you just, I put on my pajamas and I said, "That's it. I surrendered to the weekend. I'm going to lay on my sofa in my bed
Mm.
and recover because this is a very busy week for me." And I was sick and tired. And remember, and tired always follows sick. Yeah. Sick and tired. And, I had to put in some long days. So I decided early on, say Sunday, this isn't happening for me.
Well, I mean, this is the thing, right? Is that souvenir efforts like this, not everyone is going to have the opportunity to participate, and maybe that's not great because of course everybody wants the souvenirs that come out. I don't know. I think we've made some great points during the show. Our listeners have been really thoughtful around it. I think the suggestion from GSM times 2 of two weeks notice as sort of a rule, just a cold.
Just a cold slacker.
Yeah. IHAM has given Chris of the Northwest a hard time. Well, I guess he can. He's earned it.
He's
Yes, he
earned
can.
it. Yes. I'll let that one slide this time, I am.
But don't deprive Monkey Cakes of her caffeinated coffee.
No.
Saw that story today. Never mind.
It's not a pretty sight.
All right.
She said, "Yeah, IHAM can't have caffeine, so they've been drinking decaf at home." And today, while he was on one errand, she went out for coffee and ordered it. And the cashier said, "Oh, we're out of coffee. Does decaf okay?" She goes, "No." I think I startled her, but
Too funny. All right. So what do you think, guys? Wrap that topic up for tonight.
Yeah.
And we'll...
So I see a couple of people in the chat that have gone all 5 days.
Okay. Who do we have?
well done.
We have GSM times 2.
Yeah,
Okay.
3 hams.
We have MacD. We have 3 hams. And were there some others earlier?
Don't know. Lion Monkey.
Very likely.
Yes.
Apparently-
Yes, of course. Land Monkey.
Apparently, Keats.
Yes. Keats has.
Very
Well, does Keats have it? He hasn't logged them.
He might have now. He was logging them during the
that's right.
podcast.
That's
so.
right. All right.
He
Fine.
isn't actually paying attention to the podcast right now, so he won't be able to chime in.
Brian
Keith
Lang?
puts hand up.
Put ahead of
There
me.
you go.
Yeah, Bry Lang,
Right,
Land Sharks.
Land Sharks. Yep. Trexer.
There you go.
Nice. Good work, you
He
guys.
has one more to log.
Well, I hope
Don't
you
put that hand up yet.
Glow-worthy logs, I hope.
Trexer has an FTF today.
Oh, congratulations, Sharkser. That's awesome.
Now I get 7 FTFs in a row, and
Oh,
you don't get anything special. But
you get the same
get a-
years everyone else does.
yeah, but you get a warm feeling.
Not me. And I'm okay with that. I don't feel like I'm due a souvenir just because I'm a longtime geocacher and I've spent years contributing to the game. No, I don't feel like they should just give it to me.
I feel
Wow,
like
you
you're
guys are
getting
quiet.
something,
Thanks.
Oh my goodness. All right. Well, what do you
Okay.
think, guys?
I tried my best. Stir the pot.
Yeah, I know. You did a good job. I just wasn't biting tonight.
Well, folks, we thank you for tuning into Streak Week Unpacked and hope you've enjoyed this episode of Caching in the Northwest.
Yes, indeed. And as we always, a dramatic pause. Did you like that? Was that a good dramatic pause?
Land Monkey was multitasking.
Yeah, right. What did we tell you, Keats? Don't
Just-
multitask. Can only go wrong. All right. Well, I want to take a moment to thank Landsharks, our corporate Denali level sponsor. Landsharks is the outdoor adventure and geocaching store. Check them out online or go in person to visit their store in Victoria, British Columbia, where people love to go caching in Lord of the Rings style. They're open 6 days a week, except holidays, and they ship online orders every day. So we also want to thank our faithful Denali level supporters. That's Landsharks, JP's Geo Design, Limax, Team Squirrel, and WorldCaching.com. Folks, if you want to know more about supporting this show, click that Patreon link over there on the cachingnw.com website.
That's right. And the people that we would like to thank that have clicked that Patreon link are Broncos Fan for Life,
Sprouter,
Camp Clan,
Tick Magnet,
Kev MacD,
Subway Mark,
Doramore,
Dune Buddy,
Kid Vegas 19,
GeoNav Pros,
Wino Seattle,
Hackerdoc,
Billy Robson,
Genies,
Antaeus,
Keats 94,
Trexer Zero,
MC Three Cats,
Kennel Barb,
M Nerve,
Wet Coaster, and more importantly, Greenwords,
Segehove,
Alarobic,
the keepers of the cash flow,
Highlands Guy,
The Geo Travelers.
Ooh.
I don't know.
Booma 365, who I saw last weekend.
Ooh.
Nice. I was going to say, and Highlands Guy, who we mentioned had the glow submitted the glow tonight.
Indeed.
GSM times 2,
Kitty Quest, who I didn't see last weekend.
T. Sayer.
Seebeck Tribe,
CRS 98,
Ooh, and a new returning sponsor for our show, B Pendragon. Thank you very much.
Go Ponies. Bronies.
Or Bronies.
Yes. All right. Well, it was great seeing y'all. 3
Good
hosts.
to be seen.
That was fun.
it feels just right, doesn't it?
Mhm.
Have a few work
Enjoy it
projects.
while it lasts.
I was going to say, I have a few work projects coming up. I'm not sure I can be here in person the next couple of weeks, but I'm going to do my best to try. But if people can't see us on the podcast, where could they reach out and connect with us on the interwebs? Land Monkey, how about you?
Well, you know what? We're about to launch off on a cool adventure. And if you want to follow us on that adventure, follow us on Twitter, Instagram, Periscope at LandMonkeyGC. On Facebook, we're Team Land Monkey. And on YouTube, we've got some videos up there under Land Monkey, LANMONKEY, Land Monkey on YouTube. Wits End, my friend, where do people find you?
You know, Mrs. Land Monkey is giving you that look from somewhere upstairs.
Oh, her eyes are rolling. Yeah.
I will be, well, right here local because I haven't traveled in way too long. But if you want to find me on social media or even the geocaching.com website, message center, Wits End is the handle to look for on pretty much all social platforms that I can grab it on. CNW, how about you?
Why, you can find me on Twitter at CachingNW, Facebook.com/CachingNW, Instagram, I'm Caching in the Northwest. You can head on over to CachingNW.com/hosts, read our bios, find all those links that we just mentioned. And apparently I'm going to be alone for the next couple of weeks. So if you want to be a host on Caching in the Northwest, give me a call or contact me by
At 253-693 TFTC.
because I'm going to need a host because it just works better with
You've
multiple.
been abandoned. That's why.
They don't love me anymore.
Well, we love you, but
From a distance. Oh, hey, folks, thanks for taking this time to listen to Caching in the Northwest. We hope that you liked it and that we want to let you know you can be part of the show. You've got me all flustered now. Call 253-693-TFTC. Leave us a comment, ask us a question, or you know what? Send me a cup of water because
he's got the vapors.
Yeah. Case of cough drops, maybe.
There you go. Of course, you can email us at feedback@cachingnw.com. Your support helps keep quality shows coming. So if you like this show, please subscribe on Patreon, on the cachingnw.com website, and subscribe on iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher, and more. Give us a thumbs up or even a review. This show is produced by Chris Umfenauer, Jim Paulwitz, and Jay Kennedy. It's licensed under a Creative Commons Attribution 3.0 license, copyright 2019 by Chris Umfenauer. Stay tuned, folks, for
The After Show. Jim, did you see how he paused on your last name? It's been so long since
I know.
we've
It's like
been together. It's like, what's
hi,
that
I'm the new guy.
name?
Wait, who are you?
The new guy.
What are you doing here?
I don't know.
It's streaking. You're the nude guy.
Oh my.
No, I actually just had a little catch in my throat there. I apologize.
Oh, I don't think anybody took it personally, but it's just fun to make fun of it. Oh, and we'll all get quiet now while Chris coughs. I hope you're feeling better soon.
Whew. That was a
You good
lot.
there?
Go on without me.
Go on, no, we leave no host behind.
They keep letting me come back.
That's right.
No matter how
We're
far,
letting you come back.
how
We
long
keep
I've been gone.
asking you to come back, and you keep saying, "Oh, I'm busy."
Yeah, it's this whole, paycheck thing and mortgage payments and groceries. It's weird.
You got weird priorities, man.
My family likes to eat every day.
You know, my kids want a meal more than once a day.
I know, it's crazy.
Thing out.
Yeah. Kevin MacD asked an interesting question.
Yes.
With the new software you're using, can hosts share a computer screen?
Oh, I think we can.
Do tell. Do show. Show us. Show us.
Well,
how
I'm trying to find one that would be appropriate.
Yeah. Well, don't show my screens because those won't be appropriate.
Here. So if we wanted to show a screen, we could do it just like this. You're looking at my geocaching stats.
Oh,
This new software is actually quite nice. It allows you to share just one tab of Google Chrome.
Oh, that's cool. I didn't realize you could do that.
And, of course, it could be full screen. We could have it with one or more hosts or just simply one host.
right there.
With Vanna there. Nice.
There you go.
Excellent.
And then at any time, we just take it away.
Oh, and then Jim looks silly.
Like that's never happened before.
That's pretty cool. So
yeah,
there you go.
We can share a screen, but sharing a screen really doesn't work well in audio. I don't know if you've noticed.
It doesn't, but I've been surprised. So looking at the stats, we get a lot of people who watch the YouTube playbacks of the podcast, which is great. Very cool.
Yes, we have great listeners. We really do.
Absolutely.
We really do. Yeah.
So I want to thank you all. We don't take you for granted. We appreciate each and every one of you. We mention our patrons every week, and those people are special to us, but so are all our listeners. So thank you.
Yeah, if you're making the time to join us on your Thursday evenings, and of course those of you on the West Coast and the prairies, where you're in the same time zone, maybe an hour earlier. We really appreciate that. But what we really, really appreciate is the people in the Eastern time zone.
Yes. Or
who
Europe.
start listening, or Europe, but who start listening at midnight to join us live.
That's a thing.
That's pretty epic. So thank you.
I didn't even join to host when I was on the East Coast.
I won't be.
I've done it before. It's tough
I have done it. This most recent work trip.
That's
I
right. You
this year.
did too. Yeah. When
Yeah.
you were in Florida.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That's the eastest of coast.
It is.
At least in this country.
Mhm.
Fair enough. So we have some fatas.
Yes, and Land Monkey, here's a question I think is that really is suited to you. What hat are you wearing tonight?
I'm wearing my GeoWoodstock hat.
Here's a GeoWoodstock question
Ooh,
from the Seebeck tribe. It says, GeoWoodstock question: are the prices for it in American or Canadian money?
that is an excellent question. So prices for GeoWoodstock will be in Canadian funds. So if you're an American looking at that or a European looking at that, take into consideration the currency conversion. So the dollar amount is going to appear higher than it actually is for you once you run it through your credit card. And so it's in some ways perhaps a bit of a cost savings for you there, but something to keep in mind.
Mhm.
Um, that actually reminds me that we also had some GeoWoodstock news. We had an event this past Sunday where we announced some cool stuff. I can share that right now if you guys want.
You would do that? I
Oh,
just looked up the current exchange rate.
yes.
So $1 Canadian is 75 US cents.
There you go. Yeah, and that seems to be where it kind of balances out most of the time. Obviously, like any currency, it bumps up and down, but as a
So
general rule,
watch it daily, and when it drops a little bit, that's when you go buy.
yeah, yeah, you can try that. Anyways, so yeah, we had an amazing event on Sunday. I'm just looking up the stats here. We had 61 attended logs, and of course, a lot of people cash as couples, so there was definitely more than 60 people there. We had a really great event in Surrey, British Columbia, where we made a few special announcements around GeoWoodstock. So if you weren't there and weren't able to join us for that event, this may possibly be the first time you hear some of this. But we discussed the initial schedule of lead up events that are going to be happening in the Fraser Valley for the week of
This
August
is
18th through
this
23rd.
is breaking news.
Mm-hmm.
It is. Yeah. So this is breaking news, definitely. The week of August 18th through 23rd, 2020, we announced several of our events, including some of the event leaders and the locations that are so far confirmed. I won't go through all of them right now, but we will have that information in our next newsletter that's coming out soon.
Where could they go to sign up for such a newsletter?
Well, you go to geowoodstock.com.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
There you go. We also shared, so speaking of buying things in Canadian dollars, we shared the GeoWoodstock online store is open for business.
Woo! You mean
Woohoo.
we could get a hat like yours?
You can get a hat very similar, but not exactly the same. This is the limited edition
Oh.
first run. The newer ones will actually have Abbotsford. Whoops, where? Right here. They'll say Abbotsford, so they'll have the actual city.
Now, is it true you wear each one of the hats for at least 1 hour prior to selling them?
Yeah, they're tested. They're monkey approved.
Okay.
So definitely something to look forward to. But no, so we have 3 fundraiser items that are available in the store. We have the awesome Maple Leaf Geocoin, super popular. It's only going to be offered in advance of the event, and it's a beautiful coin. So check that out. We also have a trackable tag that is similar to the coin, and we have the GeoWoodstock 18 ball caps. So those are all for sale online right now. Purchase online of those items helps to support our initial venue deposits and other costs. So we also had a whole bunch of the people who were there who bought some of the items in person. So that was really cool. We really appreciated you guys doing that. And we appreciate everybody who helped support the event by purchasing the initial fundraising products. We also announced a really cool special project. Geo Travelers is running this project. It's called the Give Us Direction Project. We're creating the signs that will point to all the previous GeoWoodstock events and Geocaching HQ. It'll be on display August 22nd at the GeoWoodstock 18 event. This is something that is done at every GeoWoodstock. They have so everybody's seen the show MASH. You can picture the signpost that was in the middle of the camp with all the
Yep.
signs like Toledo and San Francisco and Seoul
Ottumwa.
and Ottumwa. There you go. So every GeoWoodstock has a signpost like that with every previous GeoWoodstock a sign pointing in the direction
Oh,
and
okay.
with the distance to that. And we were amazed. There's 18 of those signs that need to be made, and all 18 were picked up by volunteers who are going to make them. So that was super awesome. We really appreciate everybody who did that. It was really cool. Kev MacD says, I got a sign. Yes, you did. Thank you very much. So those are being worked on. So we'll be able to display those. We also reminded folks that you can still sign up to be a volunteer either in advance of GeoWoodstock or during GeoWoodstock. So you go to geowoodstock.com. We have a volunteer page where you can sign up online, which is awesome. We had some prizes and drew some prizes. Thank you, Caching in the NorthWest, who supplied some of the prizes,
You're very welcome.
as well as Gold Country, one of our favorite geo tours. They brought some ball caps. Landsharks had a geocoin. BCGA had a geocoin. Local cacher Murky donated one of his cool, super stealthy geocaches as a prize. And Mrs. Land Monkey donated a prize. The brand new official, now available Land Monkey geocoin. So
Wait, what is this?
that's a new thing. It's a thing now. There you go. The Land Monkey geocoin, and my camera is just struggling to focus on that, but that's what it looks like. The first one was given away, and it was funny because Marcy from Gold Country won the first one.
No, nice.
Isn't that appropriate?
Yeah. So there you go. So that's all the breaking news about GeoWoodstock. Way more than Seebeck Tribe asked about. But there you go. All the news that's going to be fit to print very soon.
Love it. You know what? Thank you, Land Monkey, for that. That is a great breaking news item. We have another breaking news item.
Do tell.
Hold on. I wasn't ready. I see it here, but I know I've got it in the chat somewhere, and I'm going to try to find it. So I'm just going to be talking, and here it is. So GSM times 2 says breaking news on Monday. The GIF lineup will be announced. I know 2 people whose films were accepted.
That's cool.
Some
Very
people
cool.
ask what the GIF is and why do we pronounce it GIF? Well, because we do. The GIF is the Geocaching International Film Festival. They have it every year, and it's quite a nice event. What are there now? Is there 12 or 15 films of 3 minutes in length?
I'm not sure. They've varied the number that they've made into the finals in different years. So I think it was 16 last year, I want to say, but
Maybe it was.
But they're 4 minutes or under, I believe, is the requirement.
Yes.
Yeah.
And they're made by geocachers for geocachers.
Exactly.
And they're a lot of fun.
They are, and they're international, and they really are international. They get entries from all around the world, and some aren't even in English, which is cool, subtitled or not. And the thing is, geocachers, we can relate to all of these films in different ways. Some are kind of comedic, some are more telling a story. There's been some that are a little bit of tear jerkers. It's great. I love the GIF every year. I'm looking forward to this year's. I won't be hosting a GIF event this year, so I'm hoping somebody will. But looking forward to seeing some of those films again.
Very nice. On to the next one. We are running a little long, and we've got a lot of FATAS topics. Brylang says he did a 600-day streak just to beat Land Monkey's 555 days.
No, it's an appropriate motivation.
But I started when I was a newbie cacher.
Okay.
I'm glad I could inspire him.
At 600 caches, you can't call yourself a newbie anymore, can you?
No, not really. Not 600 in a row anyways.
Keats asks a really good question. He wants to know, what are we expecting for a fall promotion? from geocaching.com.
You'll find out 48 hours before it starts.
I feel like you're getting at something, but I'm not sure what it is.
No,
Well, that's a great question. I think we're looking forward to bringing RockShock back on the show in the fall, and maybe we'll find out then or before then.
Doesn't September 1st start the next CETO season?
I believe it does.
So that goes on from, I want to say, September to October-ish.
I think it's a month or a month and a half they do for the CETOs now. Yeah.
So it gives you a season of time that, you know, if you did it earlier in the year, you got your first season souvenir.
To
Oh,
everything.
very alliterative.
Yeah.
Yeah. A CETO season and a CETO season souvenir.
A well-seasoned CETO.
seriously.
I got nothing.
It's
My
just getting
brain
worse. We really are going to need to wrap this show up soon.
Now, Doramore has a bit of a milestone. Now, it's not a number like we would think of a geocaching milestone, but she went kayaking this week and didn't fall in the lake.
There you go. That's a great milestone to measure.
Yeah.
Not falling in the lake.
Doramore, we're happy your shoes stayed dry.
Yeah, absolutely.
Amongst other things. We're
Yes.
happy you stayed dry.
Yeah.
All right. Keats94 has it's a FATAS. He says he's currently conducting a geocache audit to capture all the hides I need to check on. I'm hoping to make this a more frequent activity.
Responsible cache owner.
Yeah, that's interesting. I'd be curious to find out more about what he does for and within an audit of his geocaches.
Maybe he'll be on talking about that with Chris of the Northwest in our absence.
Maybe. We won't know until we get back.
Just
will
a
we?
thought. I don't know.
Hey, that sounds like a good idea.
Oh, and Doramore includes, I didn't say my shoes stayed dry.
Oh,
Well, that's
I
hard to
assume-
do when you're kayaking. So
Yeah.
fair enough. All right. GSM times 2 had a FATAS. Says, for a cache mobile, would you get a Toyota Highlander or a Subaru Ascent? Those are two vehicles I am
very
not
elevated.
familiar with.
Are you not familiar with? You said?
Neither of those. I would get a Honda Pilot because that's what I have. So
Well,
there you go.
Boy, those are tough. Both are, you know, the Toyota Highlander is a good solid product, but you know, around here Subarus are just so popular.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
I think there was a little bit of discussion in the chat about it. So
wow.
Okay.
hopefully somebody else could offer a more informed decision, because I agree. I don't know either. I like products from both Toyota and Subaru. I think they both make great vehicles. So.
Yes, they do.
I'm going to throw out, if you're watching or listening to this podcast and you have a thought about that, use hashtag FATAS and @CachingNW and give your thought. Toyota Highlander or Subaru Ascent, which is a better caching vehicle?
Yeah, we could start a little mini poll or something.
There you
There
go.
we go.
Yeah.
And then whatever they decide,
GSM
the
times
local
2 has to buy.
has to buy for each one of the hosts.
Oh,
That's a little crazy. I just think he has to buy for himself. He no longer can choose the vehicle he wants to buy. It has to be by social media consent.
You know, that may not work because he's going to let us know what he chooses tomorrow.
That's no fun. Come
You
on.
can't give us just one day.
Yeah.
You got to give us at least 2 weeks.
2 weeks. I think we all agreed on that earlier. Exactly. Oh my goodness. All right.
however, thank you for updating us and letting us know what you do choose. So,
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. You'll have to do a field recording.
Oh, there you go.
first
In your new
cache.
car. And let us know your new vehicle, because they're both SUVs. They're not
Yeah.
necessarily a car, are they?
yeah, they don't make cars anymore.
That's true.
Just about.
Oh, goodness. All right. And last but certainly not least, FATAS from Seebeck Tribe. If we wanted to explain what is GeoWoodstock, what would be the best way?
Oh boy.
So because I talk about it a lot, I can give my thoughts. I call it the largest annual geocaching conference. I also usually state that it moves from city to city each year, and this is the first time it's going to be in Canada. So I refer to it as a conference with a bunch of lead up events that are going to have all kinds of great topics and activities for geocachers. So not only the full day of the GeoWoodstock day itself, but the 5 days leading up to it, where there'll be all kinds of activities going on. So yeah, there you go.
That's a very good description.
Yeah.
I also like the term geocaching family reunion, but that's a bit more for insiders than new folks.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a big conference, especially in the location that you're going to have it in, or we're going to have it in. That it's going to be in Abbotsford. There, it'll be a big indoor event. So I assume there's going to be multiple rooms for breakout sessions and such.
I think so. That's a level of detail that's still being nailed down. So the definitely the possibility is there. The intent is to have breakout rooms for topics and guest speakers throughout the day. But yeah, final details are still pending.
And GSM times 2 says, and it centers on the social aspects of geocaching.
Yeah, social and I would say educational as well.
Mm-hmm. Very good. So yeah, I think that's a very good way to say it. So
Great.
So it has been said. So it will be done.
That's right.
Awesome. All right. Well, my friends, it has been great podcasting with you.
It's been a lot of fun. Unfortunately, these 3 hosts aren't going to be together for a couple of weeks, but that doesn't mean there isn't going to be caching in the Northwest. So take a good look, hold on to that image, and get out and get caching in the Northwest.